Hello there, and welcome to this. Pardon me. Welcome to this meta video. Hopefully, I've set my mic up correctly this time around. My name's Dan. I'm a bit of a Warhammer veteran. I like talking about Warhammer. I'm also a stats nerd, and very nearly finished my my PhD. Still very nearly finished. Really need to pull my finger out on that. Pardon me. I've also knackered my knee. Just walking around, not strongman or rugby, just walking around has somehow buggered my knee to such an extent that I'm in a lot of pain, and I'm on some pretty weird painkillers. Hence this video taking ages to get out, and my overly casual attire. Right, cool. So let's talk about the meta. So to anybody who hasn't seen this show before, essentially we go show. Anybody who hasn't seen this type of I don't know how to say it. It doesn't sound a bit weirdly YouTubey, so bugger it. Show. Before, we'll just go through the some stats that I've now put into some nice pretty graphs, and then we'll go through some lists of stuff that's done quite well at tournaments. I'm going to be shifting around a lot because my knee is just it's not great. So apologies for that, but I'd rather get this out this week than have to do 2 weeks at once, because there's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 tournaments this weekend. We've had an interesting 5-gamer. We've had 2 tournaments that are 2,500 points, so that's all quite exciting. Anyway, so in terms of popularity, this is largely unchanged. We've seen a few more results come in. So just to explain this number, that's the number of entrants at tournaments, and this percentage is the percentage of the overall meta, as it were. Skaven have had 3 more entrants. That's interesting. So they're still down at 2%. I don't think there's been much movement, really. I'm just comparing this with last week's. Wood Elf Realms are down a little bit. They were 6%, they're now 5%. But I mean, any changes. Warriors of Chaos are down 1% as well. They're down from 11% to 10%. So I wonder who's been picking up those percentages. I don't know. Tomb Kings, Bretonia, everything else seems to be about the same. I don't know what's going on, to be honest. Sorry, I just twisted my knee. Lizardmen the same. Orcs and Goblins, Dwarves are the same. Demons are 4%. So demons have got an extra 1%, which is interesting. Ogre Kingdoms are, I sense that's a rounding thing, so Ogre Kingdoms seem to have had quite a few entries. Anyway, but it's all more or less, the meta's pretty stable in terms of who's taking what. So this graph, in terms of win percentage, so the purple bar is the average win percentage of the faction at tournaments, and the red, this is called a box and whiskers plot because they're like whiskers. So the red whiskers is essentially the normal range of what people achieve in tournaments. So if it's within it, it's normal. If it's without, it's not normal. So, and there's no rounding. So, for instance, Beastmen Brayherds, it's not normal for them to win 20% of their games in a tournament, okay? It's not normal because it's outside the bounds. So, it's not like if you're at a 5-game tournament, normal wouldn't be 1 through 4 wins. It would actually be 2 through 4 wins, because that's what 1 is outside of normal, if that makes sense. So the point that this chart makes is that it's pretty normal for Bretonia, Khemri and Beastmen to win 4 out of 5 games at a 5-game tournament. That would be what we're suggesting. It's normal for them to win 2 or 3 games at a 3-game tournament. In fact, 2 or 3 games at a 3-game tournament is pretty normal, I think, for everybody apart from Skaven and possibly Dark Elves there. I think that might just fall under 2/3. It might be on it. So it's Skaven. It's normal for Skaven to win 0 to 1 game at a 3-game tournament. Everybody else, it's 1 or 2 wins is normal. So what that shows is that the meta's pretty stable in terms of people achieving decent results with any faction. In terms of winning tournaments, though, that's different, and we'll have a look at that in a sec. What it also means is it's not normal for everybody down to probably Chaos Dwarves to only win one game at a 5-game tournament. So if you're at a 5-game tournament and you want a couple of wins, take one of these 5 factions and you can't really go far wrong. Although obviously those people do exist that get results outside of this. What that also means is if you're winning 4 out of 5 games and you're one of these factions from Warriors of Chaos below, well done, you're above average. So a normal result is essentially it's like a range of what average might be. Also worryingly, it's normal for Skaven to win none of their games. So Skaven are still very much at the bottom of the pile. Rank percentiles, this shows, so essentially the rank percentile is where you finish in a tournament. So if you finish at the 50th percentile, that means you're slap in the middle. So if there's 11 people and you finish 6th, you're perfectly in the middle of all 11, and therefore you get a 50%. 100% means first, 0% means last, basically, and then it works out what percentile up people finish. So in terms of, so this is ordered the same as win percentage, just so we can see if there are any sort of differences between win percentage and placing. And as you can see, Chaos Dwarves have a much higher win percentage than they do finish in tournaments. And Dwarves are in fact falling down. Dwarves used to be about here, getting more or less similar rank percentile results at tournaments, but actually their win percentage is starting to fall down a lot as well. So Dwarves are in trouble. Chaos Dwarves are doing okay at tournaments. You know, they're doing better or more or less the same as Orcs and Goblins in general, but they do have a high win percentage. So there's something about Chaos Dwarves and Dwarven Mountain Holds and Skaven, which means that they're performing below what you might consider their peers from like a win percentage result. Now, the thing that you will notice is that they lack Swift Stride. They lack a lot of Swift Stride. Ogre Kingdoms also do. Empire doesn't, though, curiously, and neither really does Dark Elves. So Empire and Dark Elves, these are the curious results, and there might be some reasons for that we'll come on to in a second. But I think this game's all about positioning, all about speed. Not all, but largely about positioning and speed, and therefore Dwarves and Chaos Dwarves struggle because they find it difficult to generate that. This chart is what I call all or nothing, and basically the blue bar is essentially what percentage of results, of Beastmen results, get 0 wins, and what percentage win all of their games. So, you know, the green... So where the green is over 50% of the blue, that means you're more likely to win all of your results, or historically these players, have won all of their games more frequently than they've lost all of their games in terms of everybody using that faction. So Bretonnia being the strongest, being around about sort of, you know, cumulatively... so 22%, so about 1 in 5 Bretonnia players will either win all of their results or lose all of their games, and out of those 60% will be winning all of their games. So this is where the biggest positive difference is in terms of, you know, winning all their games. In terms of the highest absolute win all their games category, that would be Vampire Counts with 14%, and in terms of losing all their games, Skaven here, like 2 out of 5 players more or less who take Skaven to tournaments lose all of their games. Like Skaven's like proper legendary mode Warhammer the Old World at the moment. Dark Elves have yet to win all their games at a single tournament, so they're struggling, I would submit. Skaven have actually won all their games a couple of times. They've only been at 3-game tournaments, but still, if you get the right opponents and you get a bit lucky with Skaven, you can do really well, but it's not likely looking at these particular stats. So this is kind of like this picture here from Orc and Goblin downwards. This is what we'd like to see with all of the factions, really. So these upwards I mean, Empire and Dwarves are the two that I would single out as being noteworthy, because the others are unsupported factions, so okay, maybe they're not competitively written, maybe there's just a lot of flavour in there and they're not very good, and that's fine because they're not really supposed to be supported factions. But like Dwarves and Empire being down there and being so badly hit, it's a pretty bad picture. And the point about doing all of this data is so that we're not looking at one particular measure in isolation. We're not looking at just, oh, Beastmen have got a 53% win rate and Skaven have got a 32% win rate, and therefore Beastmen are so much better than... But actually, let's look at it in a bit more detail. So what's a normal result for a Beastman player look like compared to a Skaven player? And it is very, very different. And again, you look at the all or nothing, like, 1 in 10 Beastman players lose all their games. That's okay. I mean, it's sad when it happens. I've been there. It's not pleasant, but it's that's what happens when you take a out of meta faction and try and prove the meta wrong. You end up getting your ass handed to you. I've had that happen a few times. When I started with AOS, I'd started with Slaves to Darkness, not really knowing what competitive was, and I went to a few tournaments and lost all of my games. In fact, I went to 2 tournaments, I think 5-game tournaments, and I managed to win 1 game out of 10, which was really not happy. The next tournament I went to, I should have won 3. I cocked up my 3rd game, to be honest, but I should have won 3 out of 5, which would have been really nice. But considering the meta at the time, it was normal for like a Slaves player to win like 0 to 1 game. So a 5-game tournament. I was quite happy with my 2, to be honest, but should have been 3. But anyway, I'm considering starting a Skaven army just to try and break this. But like you saw in the other video that I did about how to Skaven, it's very difficult to write a list, and I'm still not happy with it. It's not legal for starters. Anyway, so this is essentially the ranking. So what I've done is I've looked at... There's a thing called a Z stat. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but basically what the Z stat does is it breaks down this win percentage into 3 populations. So essentially factions that are above normal, it defines a range of normal results, and then results that are below normal, if that makes sense. So it defines what the pack is, it defines the front runners, and it defines the ones at the ones at the back of the pack. Just so you're aware, basically, in terms of win percentage, because we're on this chart, anywhere from, is that Chaos Dwarfs upwards? I think it's Chaos Dwarfs upwards. These results are significantly different to the pack, and the pack goes down to Empire. So Dark Elves through to High Elves, these are kind of like the pack, as it were, in terms of win percentage. Then I've taken the rank percentile and performed exactly the same exercise, and that gives me essentially whether a faction is S tier, whether it's A tier, B tier, D tier, or C tier, or D tier, or E tier. I'm an idiot. I've somehow removed C from the alphabet. Moron. Right, okay. I shall correct that for next time. Anyway, so that should be 4C and that should be 5D, but I've forgotten that C exists for some reason. It's going well, isn't it? But anyway, the point that this is showing is like how is this changing over time? What S means is that essentially they're in the top rank in terms of both win percentage and in terms of tournament placings. So if you're doing well in tournaments and your win percentage is good, then you get S tier, and E tier is the opposite. You're doing badly, you're in the bottom rank in terms of tournaments, you're in the bottom rank in terms of win percentages. A is one or other being top, and so for instance, High Elves are placing very well in tournaments. They're top tier in terms of tournaments, but they're mid tier in terms of win percentages. So there's something about them that makes tournaments slightly easier. So this is a bit of a composite thing. Anyway, so this is total cumulative rank, is total of all their results over time. This is Q1, so essentially month 1 through month 3, January through March. We'll do Q2 when we get to the end of June, so then we'll have this being Q2's results, and this one will be last month. So at the end of June, this will become June, this will become Q2, and this will show the total cumulative. So essentially it shows how stuff has changed over time and how recent results are changing the meta. For instance, recently, Bretonnia and Beastmen, I think because a lot of players have started to use them, they've started to struggle a bit in terms of their ranking. They've not been quite so good. High Elves, Chaos Dwarves, Vampire Counts. Vampire Counts have started to get a bit more reliable in terms of getting up the top. So what this is showing is that basically people are getting to grips with Vampire Counts, they're working out what's good, and there is a lot that's very good in there. Arguably there's a few bits in there that's broken. For instance, the Scream attack, it's just a bit too powerful. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's loads of things you could do to tackle it. You could stop it from being used if the user's in combat, or if the target's in combat, or or you could remove the natural -2 to leadership, or you could remove any other modifiers to leadership, so it's only the natural -2 that comes with the ability, so it's not their leadership as affected by spells, so you couldn't like debuff somebody with loads of necromancy, for instance. There's loads of things you could do to the screen to make it a bit more balanced and a bit more fair, but you know, that I think that's a bit of a problem, because there's a lot of things in the Vampire Count roster that has the Wailing Dirge, including Banshees, who, yes, you can only take 2 in a 2k list because they're 1 per 1,000 points, but still they do this Wailing Dirge thing, and they've got magical attacks, so they can even do it on ethereal things, which is horrendous. It's that combined with like the ability to do reserve moves, so you can pop forwards with something that flies, do your Wailing Dirge, then reserve back out of harm's way. It's all a bit how everything coalesces means that you can build a list in Vampire Counts that's pretty ridiculous in terms of how impactful it is, and how I think that to me it's the negative play experience side of it, because playing against that list there's literally nothing you can do. You just kind of let them do their thing, and if you get lucky you might kill their general before everything starts to hit you. If you've got cannons, and if you haven't got cannons, which quite a lot of factions haven't, then you're pretty stuffed. Anyhoot, so down at the bottom, obviously we've got Ogres and Skaven. They're pretty reliably at the bottom. Dark Elves have done better recently, so again that suggests that people are starting to figure out how to use them, which is good. Demons and Empire, again, we're getting slightly better with Empire than they have been overall, but that's not necessarily... That's not really... Yeah, Empire need their book next, I think. If they could do Empire and Chaos next, that would be very appreciative, really, because Empire definitely need their book, and Chaos, well, I've got Warriors of Chaos, so I want to see what's in it. Please, 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 please bring back the Mammoth. Anyway, so that's the meta at the moment. So hopefully that's been useful. I'm now going to talk about army lists, so if you're only here for the stats, then you can like the video and subscribe and all the rest now, and I shall catch you in the next one. And if you're not here just for the stats, if you're here to listen to me ramble on, then keep listening, because we're going to talk about some lists. So these are the tournaments that we've had. We've had EWG. There's nothing on New Recruit. I figured out last week that there's some tournaments on New Recruit that I can't see because they've not been published for whatever reason. We're not quite sure why. We think that there might be a privacy setting or something in New Recruit. And I think, yeah, I don't know. New Recruit's a bit weird. I'm still figuring out how to use it. It could just be user error on my behalf. Anyway, so this was EWG Warhammer the Old World. That took place in Perth Close in England. Some people don't like me doing this. Tough. I quite like doing it. Really? That looks like somebody's garden. Okay. Did a tournament take place here? What did it say? Perth Close. That must just be Daniel's address. East Warrington Gaming. Yeah, 1250 points, so quite a low point scoring tournament here. Just about with 16 players, just about makes it in terms of the amount of points that you need to turn up. I'll just show you my inclusion criteria. So basically what I want is 60,000 points at a tournament. So with 3 games, 1250, 16 people. So essentially that's 16 people times 1250 times 3 gives you just over 60,000 points. So I want 60,000 points to be deployed at a tournament in order for it to count. But then minimum 10 players no matter what is basically my new inclusion criteria for what events I'm going to look at. And the reason for that is simple. It just means that the tournament is reflective of the majority of factions available within the game at the moment. If you take a result where there's like 4 or 5 people turned up, 2 Bretonnians, 2 Tomb Kings and a Warriors of Chaos, that's not a tournament that's reflective of the overall state of the game, so that's not useful data. So that's why the inclusion criteria. But as you can see here, we've got vampire counts, whereas there's some Skaven here, there's Orcs and Goblins, there's Ogres, so this is fairly reflective of the overall meta. Anyway, we're not going to spend too much time on these lists because it's a 1250 tournament, you don't see them very often. But anyway, Gard Andreasen managed to win with vampire count, so congrats to him. Ole Mjelstad. No, I'm looking at the wrong bloody tournament, aren't I? Idiot. So we've got Sam Bocock managed to win with his Bretonnians, Wood Elves, and so on and so forth. Yeah, again, these are small points games, so there's not really much massive point looking at it. But I mean, this is what I love about Bretonnians. You can fit a Duke on a Royal Pegasus and a Prophetess in a 1250 list and have points spare. I like that. It's pretty cool. But yeah, 6 Pegasus. Pegasus Knights are possibly the best unit in the game, to be honest. But anyway, that's that tournament. So well done, Sam. Well done, Dan. Well done, Thomas, for rounding out the top of the podium there. Then we had 2d6 Oslo Skjaldborg, maybe 2, which was at 32 Storgata. Which the Thon Hotel Spectrum. That was Storgata, wasn't it, or something like that? Liberkagata. What was it? Storgata. Yeah, there we go. I wonder what Stor is. I bet I'm mispronouncing it. Oh wow, this is. Was it absolutely hailing it down when they tried to take photos of this? Anyway, it's here. This looks really nice, actually. I like cold places, though, so... Oh, that's a bit better. It might be in there somewhere. So for some reason... Oh, there's a... Okay, well, I doubt I'm going to find it, but it was somewhere. Oh, no, hold on. Lord of the Rings. There we go. It must have been in there. Oh, and then the photos get weird. Pentagon, maybe in here? Maybe above here? That looks sort of vaguely likely? I don't know. Anyway, around here somewhere. Looks very pleasant. In Oslo. So, Gard Andresen managed to win it. So, congrats to Gard, Ola, and Christian. Came third with his Bretonnians. Let's have a look at the Bretonnians. And then Orla was second. Nice. Anybody interesting coming last? Nope. Empire coming last is not interesting, sadly. So anyway, Christian has a Duke with Royal Pegasus, Gromwell Greathelm. Basically allows him to reroll ones to save and has an extra one to save. He's got Syrien's Locket. I don't know what that does. Can't remember what that does. And a Virtue of Heroism, which is Killing Blow and Monster Slayer. Dukes automatically have the Grail Vow, so they have magic attacks. Blah 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 blah. And all attacks are Monster Slayer and Killing Blow. So Lance, Monster Slayer, Killing Blow, magical attacks. Excellent combination of stuff, and very very cheap for what it can do. You roll a lucky 6. On the charge with your Duke, and you kill a Chaos Dragon that was worth 700 points with 1 die. Absolutely amazing. we've got a level 4 prophetess, and that's it. Battle magic. I'm coming to the conclusion that battle magic's the best because of the template thing that I've never really considered before, but it's a great wizard sniper. So you can put it down near a wizard, and because you choose where it goes, the fact that it's strength 3 doesn't really matter. You can snipe out those little foot wizards. Then he's got the obligatory peasant bowman. Men at Arms are not obligatory. This is quite an interesting choice. He's gone for a Grailmonth with a blessed triptych here, which basically gives this unit stubborn and shield. Stubborn and it is stubborn and shield wall, I think, or something. Grailmonth with a blessed triptych does give it stubborn, doesn't it? Yeah, so Grailmonth. Yeah, so you've got stubborn there. This unit's not stubborn for some reason. Then he's got 10 bowmen, which are skirmishers, which I'm not sure. This bit I'm not sure of, really, Christian. I mean, he spent his 500 points, I guess, so I don't know what they're there for, really, other than to take up space, maybe. Pegasus Knights, this is where the money is. Pegasus Knights are great. He's then got some Grail Knights are... they're up there as being like one of the best cavalry units in the game. Just basically, you've got Chosen Knights of Chaos, you've got Blood Knights, you've got Grail Knights. These three are, I think, the best cavalry in the game. One of those three. Behind them, I put Mournfang Cav up there as well. They're really, really super good. Then behind them, you've got just behind them, I think you've got Cold One Knights and Dragon Knights, because one's stupid and one's got impetuous, which, you know, they're both difficult to manage. There's an extra layer of difficulty in wielding them, which is why they're a bit cheaper, to be honest. And then below them, you've got other knights as well, like Questing Knights are pretty good. I quite like Sepulchral Stalkers. I quite like the light chariots that you get in Khemri as, like, not cavalry, but do you know what I mean? Fast, horsey-based stuff. But anyway, Grail Knights up there as being the best cavalry in the game. So yeah, obviously take them. Pegasus Knights are arguably the best unit in the game because they've got 360 vision. You know, they skirmish. Which doesn't mean they're -1 to hit because they're not unit strength 1, but still that means they've got a really long bomb charge. They've got furious attack for the mounts on the charge. They've got toughness 4. Have only got a 3-up save, which is okay. They've got multiple wounds, I think 3 per model. They're just pretty nasty overall. They've got lots of attacks. They've got really high strength on the charge, and of course they've got their inbuilt ward save because they're Bretonnians. So, you know, anything that's strength 4 or less, they've got a 6 at ward save. So anything that's wounding them on a 4 or below. So this is where the ward save combines with the Pegasus Knights, where it possibly doesn't with other knights, in that essentially you can hit knights with a strength 4 attack. You're wounding them on 3s, and they only get a 6 at ward, right? Pegasus Knights, so it's essentially another -1 to wound, and they get their 4 at ward. Whereas if you're hitting them with something that requires 3s or better to wound, they then get a 5 at ward. So in terms of their survivability, based on their toughness 4 is miles better than toughness 5 when it comes to Bretonnians. And toughness 5 is just a cut above toughness 4 because of that ward save mechanic. It's absolutely... they're just fantastic, really. And for the points, I don't think they're that expensive, considering how manoeuvrable they are as well. Absolutely brilliant. Anyway, so that's a pretty good list, apart from the core stuff. I'm not sure about that. It doesn't seem very quick. I'm not sure what he's going to do with it, because at least with like little bullets of Knights of the Realm, you can make charges and, you know, just be a bit disruptive. Orla came in second. He's got Cloak of Dunes, which is fly and some other. The other thing that he's missing, I think, actually, Bretonnia, is the Falkenhorn of Fredemund. I think that's possibly one of the best magic items in the game, especially if your opponent's reliant on stuff that flies. So against Orla, this would have been great, because he could have turned off fly for the Necrolith and for the Necrosphinx as well, which makes them significantly slower, actually. So, Fazarkart's Canopy. I think that's in the Arcane Journal. This is why I hate e-readers, because they take ages to load and they're absolutely rubbish. I think it's in here, isn't it? Where's the magic items? Here we go. Oh, I'm remembering how to go to the next page also. Fazarkart's Fargeract's Canopy. What is it? Single use, command subphase, leadership test, 2d6 plus 3 summon skeleton warriors. And they're not worth victory points. So a quick unit of 10 skeleton warriors for 40 points. I mean, completely within 12, but not within 1. I suppose not within 1. That's a decent distance away. And it doesn't say they can't move. So that's not terrible, actually, is it? Because you could just pop it down on a unit that's just charged you and just like, all right, I'll just take your flank away. So yeah, that's probably pretty good, actually. Yeah, I quite like that. And that's the one. It's on a skeletal steed. Okay, and he's got a royal herald, and then he's got some archers, horse archers, chariots, tomb guard. The war banner, which is sensible because it stops them losing by loads. They're not brilliant, but they're okay. It's got some skeleton skirmishers, which are pointless, but okay. I suppose if you've got 30 points spare. Although I'd have spent that elsewhere, to be honest. Casket, Necrosphinx. Yeah, you tend to see Ushabti with great bows because they're fantastic. I mean, I shouldn't really say anything because Ola managed to win all 3 games, so he's obviously knows way more than I do about Tomb Kings, but this obviously must be a good list. What did he come up against? Is it because sometimes what you find is like it's the opponents that you play that sometimes dictate where you end up. So he came up against some Tomb Kings. Carrying are a waste of points. Casket. Also Tomb Guard. Lots of Skeleton Warriors. Lots of Archers. No Dragon. No Dragon. So, yeah. Necrotechs are good. They do tend to get taken out. There's not a lot. There's nothing. I mean, Tomb Scorpions are great. And then Necrosphinxes are pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. It's missing Ushabti with great bows, really. If he had a unit of like 6 to 8 Ushabtis with great bows, then you know that would be Ola would be really struggling because the dragon might die. I'm not sure that Ola, and I apologise if I'm butchering your name. I'm trying my best. I don't know how it should be pronounced. He's not got the armour of the ancients either. Armour of the Ages or whatever, which is you've got to reroll wounds against him, which you typically see on the Bone Dragon. He has gone for Ogre Blade though, so he's gone a bit more offensive than defensive. So maybe that's the point. So anyway, that's an okay list. I mean, he's got the dragon, he's got a Necrosphinx, which is good. He's missing some Scorpions and some Ushabti with great bows, but you know. Necropolis, great weapon for captain only. Can you do that? I'm not sure you can do that. I thought it had to be. I didn't think they had Motley Horde, so everybody's got to be armed with the same thing. Cavalry. Necropolis Knights. Captain may take a great weapon. Oh, okay. Just the captain may take a great weapon. How does that work? Because it needs Motley Horde, actually, for the I mean, I'm... apologies, rules lawyering, but technically that option's not legal in itself because he doesn't have Motley Horde. So this unit needs to have Motley Horde in order for the Great Weapon to apply. As far as I'm concerned, because the mundane weapons must be the same, unless they've errated that somewhere. And if they have, put a comment down below and I'll check it out, and then I'll be informed, won't I? Rather than being a potentially ill-informed idiot. Right, okay. So that's an interesting list. And then we've got Guard with Vampire Count. So he's got vampires. Okay, on a dragon, obviously. With Dark Acolyte, which is +1 magic level, I think. So this is a level 3 wizard. Talisman of Protection. That's sensible because then he's got a 4-up save from the zombie dragon. He's got a 5-up regen because he's a vampire count. He's got a 5-up ward because he's a talisman. So it's got plenty of defensibility built in, and he's just got a bit of dark magic to buff himself and other units. He's then got a White Lord, presumably because he wants to take some Graveguard. There they are, Graveguard, because you've got to take 1 White Lord for each unit of Graveguard. Or Black Knights, and those are exclusive. I quite like Black Knights, actually. I think they're quite good for their cost. They're pretty decent, like cheap cav. He's got a level 4 wizard, obviously, and then he's got with the Scepter of De Noiro, which is the one that allows you to bring stuff back, to cast Arise or whatever it's called, bring stuff back twice per command phase with almost no penalty. Oops. I meant to flick the back forwards. Right. Oh, God. This is going well. And he's got a short necromancer. A lower level short. Blown painkillers. The Ruby Ring of Ruin, which is a nice little spell. He's got a couple of whales of Wailing Dirges here. He's got a couple of Wailing Dirges there. So he's got his 4 Wailing Dirges. He's got Necromancy here and more Dark Magic here. So actually only one. Necromancy's great for Wailing Dirge because it's got loads of leadership debuffs. So it's pretty good for that purpose, really. Then we've got some zombies. 20 of them, that's sensible because you can start to res them from turn 1. They've got a special rule just for zombies. So they'll be like 40 quite quickly because you can do, what is it? 4. So this can do 8 plus 2d3, and this one can do d3 plus 1 a turn. So what's that going to be? 6. So it's about 15 get rezzed per turn. So that's going to be up to on average about 35 by the end of the first turn. So that's pretty good. So yeah, that's a pretty decent list. It's got a few Wailing Dirges. It's got some interesting stuff. I don't think Fellbats are much good, but you know, they can be put to use. But I guess if you got 45 points spare, I mean, I'd have spent it on an additional level of wizardry. But, you know, whatever. Mainly because that's going to result in 5 more zombies over the game for free. So, this unit of zombies has a standard bearer for some reason. Again, 5 points spare? I don't know. I think there was a lot of points spare at the end of this one. They just thought, oh, I fancy, yeah, cool. You might want to consider the what do we call it? The corpse cart with where the hell's that going to be? I think that's in monsters. If you got like some, I mean, Mortis engines are great. They're good mounts for lower level wizards because you don't want your oh, actually, oh no, he could choose his Master Necromancer. Basically, what you want is your Master Necromancer being your general and on foot and just hiding behind stuff. Basically, especially if you can put him like just behind a unit of zombies, because if you get pushed back, you don't get pushed through. Basically, you don't pop through because it's not a flea, so you just stop them from being able to push back. Plus, you can't target it because it's it's a character behind a big unit. But then with your normal Necromancer, where's the mounts? So a Necromancer necromantic acolyte can go on a mortis engine, so it doesn't have to be a master necromancer. I think mortis engines should be a master necromancer, but still it doesn't have to be. So putting your necromantic acolyte on there means that you've got another wailing dirge, which is pretty cool. You've also got the ability to do +1 to cast. This doesn't really matter that much because you can just heal yourself back, so don't worry about that. But if you've got a few points spare and you don't know what to do, corpse carts with warped tintinnabulation. Yeah, so this reduces the number of wounds lost from unstable to 1 by 1, and also on a 4-up, whenever a friendly unit recovers a number of lost wounds, you get an additional 1. So if you're doing like 3 reses on a unit of zombies, you can conceivably get 2 more zombies every single turn just for having this around. So that's pretty good. So corpse carts with warped tintinnabulation, you see a bit. It's also a level 1 wizard in and of itself, which is, pretty good. And that I don't think yeah, so warped tintinnabulation, reducing number of wounds lost, stacks with the battle standard bearer ability, because neither of them stack with indomitable, but it doesn't say they don't stack with each other. So you've got both of them around, and it's D3 +1. So you're essentially, even if you lose combat by 2, you've not lost any more models, which just keeps your stuff around, so you can keep casting your spells and getting those screams off, basically. So anyway, that's something you might want to think about. But yeah, this is what he played Skaven, so of course he won. Oh, even though he's got all the good stuff, look at this. So Terrier. I don't know. Sorry if that's wrong. Yeah, he's got BSB with a storm banner, which is okay. Engineer, yeah. Clan rats with doom flayers. You need rattling guns, dude. Then some rats. Giant rats are pretty good, actually, I think. Jezzails, loads of them. That's spot on. He's got all the cool stuff, but it's just, what did he do? Where is he? Oh, he managed to win 2. Only just managed to win 2. Oh, managing to beat Tobias Rus with High Elves. Great. Skaven beat High Elves. I'm happy. Right, anyway, but okay, so well done, Terrier, for managing to achieve an above average result for Skaven. Bringing it home for the rat lads. Right. Anyway, Conflict in the Border Princes. This was run by Mark Wildman in Forest Street, which is, where's Forest Street? It's in England, thanks. Sutton in Ashfield. Hey, that's Sanctuary. Did Sanctuary have a tournament on this weekend? Why didn't I know about it? So that'll have been here probably at Sanctuary. Sanctuary's a really nice little gaming centre, actually. Don't know whether you can see it open. No. They haven't got any. Oh God, I'm in a car park now. Anyway, this is now. If you're ever going here, just be careful about parking. You can park down this side of the road, but they do have ANPR and they are pretty hot on it. So don't park in any of these. Or apart from the ones that say Sanctuary, I think a couple of them do. Do not park in Iceland's car park because they will have you. They will ticket you. But anyway, Sanctuary, it's actually quite nice. All of this pretty much is a gaming centre. There's a little bit of a shop here and there's a little bit of a cafe there, but pretty much all gaming centre. I don't know what's on the first floor. You share toilets with whoever's on the first floor, but yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty cool centre. I like it there. But anyway, they had a tournament on, and Wandering Warlocks were the organiser, apparently. Who's that then? Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Right. So Mark Wildman managed to win with Beastman Brayherds. I'm not surprised. Mark's really good. Very good tournament player. If you know what I mean. Absolutely knows what he's doing. So I'm not surprised he managed to win. He nearly won last time. I think he took one to one of these. Wandering Warlocks, that'll be essentially because they had an odd number of players, so somebody will have entered that, and then Richard Gedney probably gave up after game 2 and had to go home for some reason, so they didn't have to do a third game with them. So this is essentially for the odd player, as it were. Rob Hallam, who I've met, I think. Liam managed to get a result with Orcs and Goblins. That's very good, because Orcs and Goblins are still struggling a little bit at the moment. Anybody interesting at the bottom? That might be interesting. See why a Chaos player managed to lose all 3 games. That'll be interesting. So this is the Chaos player that lost all 3 games, which is unusual. So we've got level 4 Wizard, Ruby Ring of Ruin on foot. Oh no, so he's got level 4 Ruby Ring of Ruin, Spell Familiar, Favour of the Gods, Enchanting Aura, Demonology in a Chariot. I mean, I'd have gone Battle Magic if you're going to put him in a Chariot, because Demonology is not that much use. He hasn't got a big block of Chaos chosen on foot to throw around with the Cloak of Steed of Shadows, which gives you fly 12. There's another spell in Demonology that gives you +1 move, so essentially you can give a unit of chosen fly 13, and obviously they're in marching columns, so they've got a 39-inch move, which is just nuts. That's the reason you'd want that. So he's not got that, so I'm not sure. He's only got Marauders he can chuck around with it, because that only affects. So Steed of Shadows, he can't really. I can use it on the Spawn because they're infantry. He's got 3 Dragon Ogres. Typically you see them being 3 separate Dragon Ogres rather than a unit, just to kind of pick stuff off, or that kind of stuff. He's got some Chosen Knights. These are good. He's got the Blasted Standard. This is exactly right. And then he's got a Lord. Oh, he's got a Lord on a Dragon. Okay, typically you take Chaos Chosen Knights, so you can take a Lord who's on a steed, so he can go in the Chosen Knights, because they've now given Chaos Steeds, which have mounts, countercharge, so they can countercharge alongside the unit. So you want a unit like 5 or 6 Chosen Knights and a Lord on a steed, if that's what you're going to do. There's a great synergy there, because basically a pared back, very survivable Lord in that unit, is pretty good, because then the Lord can challenge stuff out, and then the Chosen can do the damage to whatever else is there. Apologies. If you're doing that, of course, you don't get a dragon, but yeah, I mean, he's got a pretty decent dragon. It's just 2 units of Warhounds are okay, but you want the Knights to have Khorne, so they get an extra attack, and then you just use the Warhounds to kind of corral them around. So the Warhounds just get in the way to stop them from having to charge. And Marauders, Khorne, Flails, this is a very good unit, but he's given it Skirmishers, which is a bit weird. So is he trying to do skirmishing and then Steed of Shadows, so they get a 24-inch skirmishy march sort of thing? I don't know. I don't know what the strat is here. There's a lot of stuff that's good individually. I just can't see how it all pulls together, and maybe it didn't, and maybe that was the problem. So Keith, if you're listening, let me know what went wrong, because it doesn't look terrible, to be honest. Maybe dice just screwed him. I don't know. This isn't a bad list. It's just these I'd like to see Khorne on, really. I like Chosen with Undivided because the worst thing in the world is not being able to charge something because it causes fear. Like Chosen Knights refusing to charge something because it's a bit scary is like that's the wrong atmosphere. Mark 1. We'll do him last. Liam. So Rob. No, Rob did come third, and then Liam. So Rob came third with his high elves. He's got a dragon prince, obviously, with a prince on a dragon and a dragon on a prince and a prince on a dragon and a dragon prince. Archmage level 4 with there's no Ruby Ring of Ruin between the two. Tisk, Rob. You got to keep up the tradition, and the tradition is you always have a dragon with a Ruby Ring of Ruin. And he's got some silver. I really like silver helms because of Ithilmar barding. I thought they had Ithilmar barding, not just barding. Have I been advocating for them entirely inappropriately because I've missed the fact that they've not got Ithilmar barding? Silver helms. They do have Ithilmar. Oh, it's not there. It's a special rule. Yeah, so Ithilmar barding, basically, I'll just show you what it does because it's pretty cool. It's in special rules, obviously. Not in armory, despite the fact that it's armor. It's not in the armory, it's in the rules. Reroll 1s when making dangerous terrain tests. Wizards can, with this special rule, may wear armor without penalty. That's Ithilmar armor. So anybody with Ithilmar armor also can reroll dangerous terrain checks. That's really good because it means you can sit them in woods. And it doesn't mean they ignore cover, but it does mean that it stops your opponent from charging you because, and as somebody else pointed out, rightly so last time, when you charge through cover, you roll 2d6 and you take the lowest one, but you still get Swift Stride. So, but if cavalry's charging you and you're charging them, it's the same negative effect. However, they're probably not re-rolling ones to charge. So you can sit your silver helms in a woods and charge out of the woods. Yes, you can't really bank on that 9-inch. So with the maths behind Swift Stride, right, getting a 9 is a bit like rolling just over a 4 on a d6. Getting an 8 is a bit like rolling just under a 3. Right? Getting a 7 is a bit like rolling just under a 2. Statistic, or is it just over 2? Anyway, so it's around, those are the approximate maths. So if you take the lowest of the 2d6, getting a 9 is a bit like rolling a 5 or maybe a 6. I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, it changes the stats behind those, the reliability of that 9-inch charge. So you're much less likely to get a 9-inch charge. You're much more likely to get about a 6 or a 7, which, to be honest, is still better than infantry. And you can pretty much guarantee, because 1 in 36 times you're going to roll a double 1, so they're not going to die to the dangerous terrain. And if somebody has to charge them, they're going to get hurt by the dangerous terrain check as well. So, Elven Archers, not sure why they're there, but they are. And then we've got some Seaguard. Maybe what's he want them for? Because he can use the Great Eagles to control the Dragon Princes. Because basically what you do is you put like something in the way so it can't charge because it can't wheel out. So if you put your Great Eagle just in front of your Dragon Princes, then they can't charge. So Impetuous is irrelevant. And then if they do need to charge, then the Great Eagle can charge the same target. So then they end up hitting it at the same time. So, yeah. And if somebody charges your Great Eagle, but you've left, so you put your Great Eagle here, so it blocks them from charging. But then essentially, if somebody charges the Great Eagle, you just flee with it because you've kept your Dragon Princes out of range, so then you can hit them. Cool. Swordmasters are very good. They're just a bit flaky because they've only got heavy armor. He's got high magic, which you would take if you could. I mean, it's such a good spell lore. It's brilliant. But Rob, well done. That looks like a pretty good list. I'd like to fight that. That looks exciting to play against. Liam's got some orcs. Troll hags are really good. The rules for them are really good. I just hate the models. I think they're disgusting, which I know is the point, but they're just vomit inducing. So there's 2 of them. And then he's got a weird knob who's frenzied with the Ruby Ring of Ruin. Well done, Liam. Keeping up the tradition. And it's got a couple of goblin big bosses on giant wolves. Do you need those in order to include wolf rider mobs? Do you? Is that an inclusion thing? Orc and goblin. It'll be in this journal thing, won't it? It's going to be... He's going to be in a troll horde, isn't he? Orc bosses. Special... Goblin, wolf, orc, boar boys, orc. Oh. Goblin, wolf, chariots. What is this? A standard orc and goblin list? Have I? I'm confused now. Oh, for God's sakes! Troll hags. Any army using OG Grand Army that includes one or more troll mobs may include 0 to 1 troll hag as a rare choice. I don't understand this list, to be honest. It's got to be a troll thing, but then I don't get why he's got Goblin Wolf Rider mobs, because... well, you just saw. I'm not sure that's... I hate this bloody e-reader thing. I need to go through it and just print screen. Just like put it in a PDF, because it's just such a nightmare. Goblin bosses, yeah. Oh, Goblin Wolf Riders are core. Oh, they are core here. So why is he taking the big bosses? I don't get that. Liam, if you're listening to this, please let me know why you've taken the big bosses, because I'm totally stumped. This is... I don't understand it at all. It's just baffling. Why the big bosses? Do they do it? Is there a synergy that I've missed? Is there something about them? I've not looked at OGs for a while. Fear of Elves, Impetuous, Rallying Cry. They got Rallying Cry, I guess. I guess the better big bosses are better leadership, aren't they? Goblin Wolf Riders are leadership 6. No, they're not. No, they're no better than a boss. I don't know. I genuinely don't know why they're there, to be honest. I genuinely don't know why they're there, because they can't use Rallying Cry if they're fleeing anyway. So unless they're just little characters that they're not in these units, they're just sort of scouting around with them. But surely you've got a better use of 104 points, right? I don't know. I really don't know why they're there. Everything else looks pretty cool, to be honest. Troll. Yep, we like our trolls in a troll list. That's kind of the point. So basically, what the troll list does is troll horde does is you're allowed to re-roll all your regen saves. So stone trolls, I think, have like a 6 up regen. Sorry, river trolls have a 5 up, I think. I might be getting those wrong. Hold on, I'll just have a quick check. They're at the tail end of troll mobs. Here we are. He's got 3 troll mobs in core and 2 troll mobs. Again, because normally you're only allowed 3 of one unit in any list. That's normally like the overall. Doesn't say here. I don't know. Successful. Yeah, it's the same. This is Dan Buchanan, I think, is the chap who runs these. So yeah, I don't know, because I think last time around he said 3 maximum, and a troll mob, as you can see, is just there. It's a troll mob, and then you pick which troll is in the troll mob. Anyway, they've all got regen 5. I forgot why. Anyway, so you're allowed to re-roll that 5 up, and I'm not sure why he's got another 2 units of river trolls, unless they've done 0 to 6 for core. And the troll horde is 1 troll mob per 1,000 points. 0 to 1 additional troll mob may be taken as core per troll hag. So actually one of these should be core anyway, because he's got 2 troll hags. So he's got 1 per 1,000, 1 per 1,000, 1 per hag, 1 per hag. And then special troll mobs are just special, yeah. But I thought there was a 3 unit limit. Maybe that's been lifted for this tournament. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, he's got a big unit of river trolls. So the difference between stone trolls and river trolls is that river trolls have 1 more wound, and they also have no, they just have 1 more wound, don't they? All trolls can vomit now, and stone trolls have armored hide 1. So stone trolls have actually slightly better leadership, with leadership 5, but they have a 6-up armor save, which, river trolls are more expensive because they've got another wound. Another wound is way better than. So river trolls are probably the best trolls at the moment. Cool. Within a troll list, because actually you can use, within a troll list, you can use the troll hag's leadership on your troll units anyway. So, but anyway, Liam, well done for getting second. I'm not sure about this. Presumably they've changed the rules on list writing or something. Then Mark managed to win with his list. The reason Mark's list doesn't change is because it's absolutely gorgeous. Like, all the bases are properly moulded, and he spent a mortgage's worth on some really lovely resin bases for the whole thing, and he's got his list, and that's about it. So nothing really changes, and he doesn't really need to, because it's a pretty good list. Basically what happens is you've got this Doom Ball with all this cool stuff, which gives it 3 million attacks at strength 9 and AP 12, or whatever it is. You've got a Wargore who's got Slug Skin with a BSB. Slug Skin gives the whole unit -1 to hit. So the Wargore goes in the same unit as the Doom Ball, which is, where's the Ungor unit? Here's the Ungor Herd here. The Ungor Herd being -1 to hit because of Slug Skin is a pretty nasty, horrible thing. And the Blackened Plate does something also that's quite nasty that I can't remember what it does. I'll just have a quick look. This is pretty much the perfect Beastman list, by the way. It's very, very good, and it works so well on the tabletop. It's unbelievably good. Blackened Plate. It just gives him full plate armor. Sorry. And Gnarled Hide. Gnarled Hide is a mutation, I think. Which gives him Armoured Hide 1. Yeah, so he gets a 3-up save because he's got Gnarled Hide, Blackened Plate, Many-Limbed Fiend gives him an extra attack. And they're pretty... Minotaur Doom Balls are really nasty. So they've got 5 attacks up to 6 because of that. Strength 6, Armor Bane 1 inbuilt. And the Doom Ball has a shield, so it goes up to a 2-up save and a 5-up ward. -1 to hit because it's in the same unit as this, so it gets affected by Slug Skin. It's pretty nasty, and because it's got the rule Slaughterer's Call, when the model is frenzied, then the unit becomes frenzied. And because of the special rule of the Beastman, it gets +2 attacks rather than +1 when it's frenzied, and there's loads of ways that you can give that unit frenzy. In fact, that's why you give it Dark Magic, because it gives a unit a frenzy and hatred. So there's a spell that gives it frenzy and hatred. So essentially this goes up to 6-8 attacks. While subject to Primal Fury, hand weapons have an AP of 2. So this as long as it passes a leadership check before the beginning of combat, basically has 8 attacks at strength 6, AP 2. Re-rolling hits because it hates you because of the Great Bray Shaman. Absolutely horrible, horrible, horrible thing to come up against. And they've got inbuilt strength. I think inbuilt strength is like 6 or something. It is, it's 6. So it's wounding dragons on a 4. I mean, it's just absolutely nasty. For 305 points, total bargain. And then he's just got loads of chariots to countercharge. He's got loads of like little skirmishy sort of units to sort of be sacrificial units. Even the dragon ogres are sort of semi-sacrificial, or can be. And then he's got loads of chariots and a Razor Gore chariot. It's just a really, really, really super effective, super good list. Oh, sorry, my leg is really starting to hurt now. So that was Conflict in the Border Princes. Well done, Mr. Wildman. Thoroughly deserved win, I'm sure. Somebody has asked me to do a video about Matt Goldsborough's game at another tournament because he got a lot of things wrong. I was planning to do it this week, however, more or less bust my knee, so stuff's taken a bit of a... I was planning to get like a new desk and stuff sorted so I could do loads of things this week, but nothing's really happened, which is very annoying. Anyway, this was War in the Old World, which took place in 159A Great Dover Street, which was somewhere around here, apparently. Somewhere around here. There's a boarded up pub. There's some stuff. I don't know where it was. None of this looks very promising, does it? But anyway, it was around there. War in the in the Old World. And well done, Jack, Scott, and Matt for taking this one out. Orcs and Goblins. OG's doing quite well. Anything interesting down here? No, not really. Okay, so Jack with OGs came in third. Black Orc War Boss, Feathers McGraw. He's got a dragon, basically. Troll High Trousers, choppy as chopper. Yeah, solid. Yes. He's got a big boss with a BSB. He's got an odd knob. And then a weird knob. So whenever you take a Black Orc War Boss, you've got to take a unit of Black Orcs. So for every Black Orc hero, you've got to take a unit of Black Orcs. So if you don't want the Black Orcs, most people go for like a minimum unit of 5. So that's why that's there. It's an inclusion thing. Then he's got some short bows, Wolf Rider mobs, 2 Night Goblin mobs with netters, blah 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 blah. Orc Ball Boy mobs. I mean, there's nothing amazing in this, actually. There's nothing that kind of stands out as being particularly effective. He's only got 6 Fanatics, for instance, and a Giant. So Jack obviously just played really well with it. There's nothing... It's not like it's, you know, built to do a particular job. Like, it's not like a Fanatic delivery system or like there's loads of Doom Divers or whatever. Sorry, these painkillers, they dry out my throat quite a lot. Cool. So that's that. Scott came in second with some Beastmans. So he's got a Beast Lord with a bedazzling helm and slug skin, so -2 to hit. That's interesting. -2 to hit. And a potion of toughness and a great weapon and light armor. So 5 up save. I mean, the -2 to hit is interesting. He's got the Hack Tree Fetish allows you to reroll wounds on your magic missiles, and I'll show you their spell. It's called Vile Tide. 5d6 strength 1 hits. So 5d6, you're looking at rolling like 15 hits. So you're wanting 6s really, but no armor saves at all, which is really, really good. So like 15 hits, 6s re-rolling. You're looking at maybe getting 5 or 6 more, what essentially the equivalent of mortal wounds on a target, which is really, really good. Sorry, bear with. Let me just sort my foot out. Oh. Bloody knee. Why does it have to be the knee? Not going to be the ankle. At least I could just raise that. Anyway, so we got a BSB. I mean, I typically don't like upgrading them with items because it's just a waste of points, really. Units giving standards is a good idea because they, keep picking it up. But once your BSB's dead, they're dead. That said, what does the vitriolic totem do? It does something or other. It does poisoned attacks. Ooh. But can't you put that in a unit? Has he got a big unit of bows or something? He's got some dragon ogres. That's nice. He's got a Shaggoth. That's nice. It's giving it the blackened plate. Doesn't it have armoured hide something or other? That's the wrong book. Oh. Monster. Armoured hide 2. So the full plate plus armoured hide 2, you're up to a 2-up save. So well done. That's how you do that. You give it blackened plate. So that's pretty good. Oh, God. And he gets a 3-up ward against flaming attack. So that's a pretty decent list. He's got plenty of chariots. Chariots are good. He's got a big block of gauze, which have the totem of rust and some great weapons. So they're okay. And he's got some stuff to kind of scout around and be a bit of a pain in the bum. But, yeah, he's just played well. Matt Goldsborough, who's a very good player, who's an AOS sort of veteran. I think he's gone for double dragon, but he's snuck in a... Oh, no, that is the same as last time. Yeah, this is the same list as last time. 2 caskets, 2 tomb scorpions. These sit on the flanks, typically. Because they've got Swift Stride, I think, as well. They've got all the rules, basically. He's got some Shabti with great bows. 8 of them is horrible. And, yeah, I mean, that's it's a pretty decent... And a double dragon as well, which is a pretty decent list. Both of them level 4 wizards. Both the one illusion. So this serpent staff thing, that does quite a bit of damage, basically. And illusion means he's trying to get... he's got law familiar, so he can pick spectral doppelganger. So he can do 2d6 hits with the serpent staff, which is like strength 5, AP 2 or something like that. Multiple wounds, whatever. So that's a good list. It's a good list. And a good player, so should do well. And he has. So well done, Matt. The Legend Begins 2,000 points tournaments, which took place in there. Septeno, something or other. Carrer de Rossello. Rossello. Double L's pronounced as an EY, isn't it? Carrer or Carrer. Carrer de Rossello. I Cazador. Anyway, I'll stop that. In Goblin Miniatures, Goblin Trader. That looks likely, doesn't it? It probably took place in there or above. Probably not above there. But in there somewhere. The Legend Began. And Legend Begins was won by Flo came in third with her Beastmans. Nando came in second with the Vampires. And Hardick came in first with Hiles. Flo with it's in Spanish, and it's been written on some horrible list builder thing. Anyway, it's Beast of Chaos. We've got a level 4 Tuskor Chariot, Caro, the Tusk Gauze, Ogre Blade. So quite an offensive. Beast Lord here, and a level 4 wizard with the Hag Tree Fetish and a pie. Chariot, 20 gauze, 10 ungors, 16 bestigors, 3 dragon ogres, giant. Not an amazing list, but pretty solid. You're hitting a lot of the right notes there, so that's a pretty decent list. So well done. Nando Arakosh. I can't remember how you pronounce S's. I think Z's are Ethid, aren't they? And S's are Eshish or something like that. So vampire counts, necromancer, level 4, abyssal terror. It's interesting. You don't see very many of them. Then we've got a vampire count level 2 and a zombie dragon. So we've got a necromancer level 4 and an abyssal terror with the scepter of Cetro de Denoiro. There's a vampire count. So level 3 dark acolyte. Oh no, Master of the Black Arts. That was one's +1 to your wizard level. Dark acolyte is you can resurrect stuff, isn't it? Sorry. But you only count as level 1 for the purposes of resurrecting stuff, I think is how that works. Then we've got some dire wolves, we've got some crypt ghouls. No zombies. You'd need zombies with all that resurrecting. You need zombies because you can bring them back on turn 1. Then we've got some fellbats, got terrorgeist, blood knights. Blood knights are arguably some of the best cavalry in the game, mainly because they can resurrect, so you can bring them back over and over again. With a 2-up save. Absolutely horrible to deal with. So, yeah, well done. And Hardik won a tournament with some high elves, which actually is quite rare. So we've got dragon, double dragon, double dragon, 1,000 points on characters. Then we've got some silver helms, nice, some reavers, a couple of units of archers, some sword masters. Oh, these are very good. Sisters of Avalon, excellent unit. High Sister with Ruby Ring of Rune, I really like that. That's excellent. Well done, Hardik. That's a really good unit. I like Silver Helms and Double Dragon. I can see why you did really well. That's a great list. Well done. Cool. So this is the last of the 3-game tournaments, which took place at 61 Tithe Barn Street. It's Just Play Games. I thought that rang a bell. This is, again, another nice venue. There is some parking down there. There's some parking NCP there, but I don't like NCP. So if you don't like NCP, there's some more parking down there that ain't them, or wasn't. They've probably bought it by now. It's in here. There's some tables sort of downstairs. There's some tables upstairs. Ideally, you want to be downstairs because upstairs is so hot. It's unbelievable. And the aircon up there is basically fans, or was last time I was there, which is a while ago now, so could have improved it. Guys at Just Play, really nice guys. So, yeah, there you go. That's the parking I stopped in last time. But, so it's a decentish venue. There's a little bit of a shop at the front. They're mostly an online store if you want to buy stuff from them. Right. So who won at Just Play? Simon Harris with Orcs and Goblins. Excellent. Well done, Simon. Bring it home for the OG. Oh, John! Why did you not submit your list? I'd like to see demons that did well. Right. Then we've got some Warriors of Chaos coming in third. So, John, well done for coming second with demons, even though you didn't publish your list. Peter Bradley with Warriors of Chaos. Sorcerer Lord, level 4, Dragon. You typically don't see that because a Sorcerer Lord on a Dragon. Sorcerer Lord's only toughness 4, and the Dragon only gives it +1 toughness, so it's actually only a toughness 5 Dragon. So it's not as survivable. Does have a 5-up ward, and this gives it a 5-up regen as well, so I guess that kind of makes up for it. But then again, it's only got a 4-up armor because of the Dragon itself, so 4-up, 5-up, 5-up isn't great at toughness 5. So that one's an easy target for 655 points. And Diabolic Splendor is These are supposed to be my faction. I've forgotten what they are. Diabolic Splendor is -1 to hit and shooting. That's it. And then he's got another Sorcerer Lord on a steed, because presumably he's got a unit of Knights of Tzeentch. Yep, there we go. So he's got a little magic missile casting thing there with battle magic, so he can get Hammer Hand maybe. Yes, okay. And then we've got some Warhounds. Forsaken are great. I prefer Slaanesh because I've got Swift Stride, although Khorne, Khorne is hatred everything, so that's pretty good. Dragon Ogres I like. Chimera. You see the Chimera popping up quite a bit nowadays, so maybe I ought to reconsider it. It seems to be quite popular. I guess it's not terrible. High praise indeed. Chimera. He's given it some upgrades. So he's given it a flaming attack and regen. Or Fiend Tail and Poisoned. I don't know which. But it's got Swift Stride. It's got Fly 10. I guess it's pretty quick. It's got 4 wounds at toughness 5 though. Like, that's not a lot for 215 points. I keep looking at it, but it's like, I don't know. I suppose it's not a large target, is it? So it can. It's a large target, so it's always seen behind everything. I mean, it's got a lot of attacks. I'm still not sold. It seems to be popular, but I'm still not sold. Righty ho. And then we've got. I suppose it's good for taking out screens, isn't it? Cool. And then Simon managed to win, but well done, Pete. Well done, John, and congratulations to Mr. Harris for managing to win with OGs. He's got a Wyverny Orc Warbus. He's got a Wyverny Orc Warbus, and he's got a Wyverny Orc Weird Knob. So he's got 3 Wyverns, which is quite nice, because they're not quite as good as dragons, but they're nearly. He's got some protective stuff on the war bosses, and he's got battle magic. Makes sense. I mean, I thought wow magic on that one, maybe. I don't know. I know, because you don't get the extra aura, do you? Because it's not the general, so it's only its leadership. So there's like a couple of spells in the WoW magic roster that are command range. So like that's why I quite like the idea of a nomadic horde list with a weird knob on a wyvern as like the general. So you get an 18-inch like +1 or plus D3 to your charge, +1 to hit, reroll 1s to wound, all that kind of stuff. And then he's got some fanatics. He's got an orc mob. He's got squig herd. Squig herds are pretty nasty actually. The squigs themselves are pretty horrible. Yes. Doom divers are great. Bolt throwers, he's taken 3. Absolutely. Rock lobbers, not sure about that. I'd have dropped one and taken another. Maybe it's a model availability. Drop one of them and take another one of those, I think, because these 2 are less accurate than another one of those. And yeah, this looks pretty good. This looks pretty good. Has he got... He's got Das Spider Banner. Is that the one that gives you poisoned attacks? Somebody had a go at me because I missed that on the last time I had a look at Orcs and Goblins. I think that banner gives you poisoned attacks. Das Spider Banner. Of course it's not in here, it's in this thing. Maybe that's why I missed it, because I haven't really paid much of attention to this. Das Spider Banner. Poison attacks. Yes. So he's got basically 40 short bows with poison attacks. So he'll put that in there. 2 ranks of 20. So he gets 30 shots with poison attacks. I mean, they're not got great range, but, you know, yeah. He's just going to shoot the hell out of you, isn't he? And then he's got 3 dragons to sort of keep you pinned if you're not shooting. Yeah. And then some fanatics. There's a lot of ball. This is a really strong list, actually. There's a lot of board control going on. There's a lot of shooting. There's a lot of really scary shit in this. So well done, Simon. That's an excellent list. I really like that, actually. It all comes together. It's funny how like sometimes it's not the strongest thing in the book, but it's like how everything comes together and synergizes to create like a really powerful force. And that one's one of those. Right, and then we've had a couple of 2,500 point tournaments. The first one I wanted to look at was the Summer Slaughter, which took place in Indianapolis, which is Indiana. I got the state right. Excellent. Which was somewhere around here near a Chick-fil-A. And Crunch Fitness, although I doubt it took place in Crunch Fitness, but it should be here somewhere. Boom! Family Time Games, maybe? Maybe it took place in there. Oh, contrast paints. Yeah, it took place in there, probably. That looks nice. Cool. Run by Gary Luther. Well done for running a decent event. 2,500 points, which is interesting. Vampire Counts came third. Wood Elves. Oh, well done, John, for bucking the trend and getting a decent result with the Wood Elves. That's excellent. And Rob Elmer. I used to know a guy called Rob Elmer. I'm presuming it's not the same guy because the guy I knew was about 60 or 70. Right. So we've got a Vampire Count. So this is 2,500 points. There's a bit more in it. So he's got a Vampire Count with the Sword of Kings. With the Sword of Kings? What does the Sword of Kings do? Oh, there's no bookmarks because it's the thingy. The Sword of Kings. It does Killing Blow, magical attacks. Manages a Killing Blow on a 5 or a 6 and is plus strength S +1. So on a Vampire Count, that's strength 6. Killing Blow on a 5 or 6. Quite a lot of attacks. That's quite scary. And he's got a Master Necromancer on a Mortis Engine, which is the general, which... must be, because it's... no, it just has to be a wizard, so it could have been the Vampire Count, because they're both leadership 8, but he chose the Necromancer on the Mortis Engine. Did this guy come in third? Oh, yeah, this has weird scoring in that essentially the player that seemed to win all 3 games seemed to also come third. So I'm not sure how this one was. There must have been some, like, quite a lot of soft points. Yeah. We use the scenarios from Buckeye, which encourages core comp. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how this tournament actually works, but apologies again. So anyway, so we've got some Skeleton Warriors, some Grave Guards, some Black Knights. They're pretty good. We've got a white, so we can take them. Yep. Got some Spirit Hosts. I quite like those, and some Blood Knights. So that's all pretty good. Rather than like creating a massive list, what he's done is he's like added lots of upgrades to units and taken lots of magic items, which is pretty cool. So Rob managed third place. John managed to buck the trend and get Wood Elves onto a podium, which is great news. He's got a Glade Lord on a dragon with an Ogre Blade and Talisman of Protection and stuff. So that's all really good. He's got some Deepwood Scouts, which he can take 2 of in core, because I think it's 1 core per 1,000. The obligatory Glade Guard, some Glade Riders. Oh, I've got a letter. It'll be political parties. There's an election soon in the UK. Then he's got some Wild Riders, Great Eagles, Treemen. Treemen are combat monsters, and he's got a Treemen Ancient, level 4 Wizard, Elementalism, Law Familiar, so he gets Plague of Rust. Yeah, he's not got any sisters. That would be and not a lot of shooting really. So I'm not really sure where the output is in this. I mean, there'll be a lot of output here, but I don't know really. Wild Riders are pretty nasty, but where's he spent all his points? It is on characters, isn't it? Wow, that's Oh, that's some going. Right, and then Vampire Count's managed to win. Master Necromancer, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this is all pretty standard. He's got Terrorgeist. He's got some Vargeist. Vargeists are cool. You don't see them very often. Models are cool, though. He's got the Sceptre of de Noiro, obviously, on a level 4, obviously. And Mortis Engine, Acolyte and Mortis Engine, Vampire Count on a Dragon. Yeah, that's a pretty good list. Well done, Jacob. Well done, everybody. Right. Oh, God. Like I said, these painkillers are pretty horrible. Where are we up to time-wise? Hour and a half. Good Lord. That's why I'm tired. Right, I'm just going to zip through these. Apologies, because I meant to save the best till last, but still, I'm knackered, and the painkillers are kicking in. Like, as in, they just make you really tired. Right. Nate managed third place. Well done with... this is another 2,500. Is that Ogres? Ogres came second. Oh, that's made me so happy. Matthew... yeah, had Bretonian stuff. Loads of Pegasus Knights. Yeah, 14 of them. Horrible. Yeah, some Bowman stuff. Gromwell Greathelm. Oh, Gromwell Greathelm on the BSB rather than on... he's got the Gauntlet of the Duel. Okay. Don't see that very often. Yeah. Falconhorn of Fredemund. That's possibly one of the best items in the game. Great list. Well done. Mainly because it's got that and lots of them. Well done. Spot on. Then Nate has got a General on a Thunder Tusk. I keep saying don't put them on monsters. They're better off in units. The characters, I mean. Because then they can't get challenged out, you know. And then rendered pointless. Demon Slayer Scar's excellent. That basically means he's a walking BSB. And he's got a BSB as well. He's got a Slaughtermaster. Now put the BSB on a Thunder Tusk because then you get an 18-inch BSB aura. Slaughtermaster, yeah, makes sense. Elementalism to get the Plague of Rust. Bulls. Only 3 Mournfang Cav. I really like Iron Blasters. I think they're good. Gorges, Jerry's out on. Lead Belchers, he's only got a few of them. Again, I don't really know where he spent all his points. Really? He spent a lot on Bulls, but only 16 of them, and they're not great. So, if you get Plague of Rust off, Ogre Bulls become amazing. But, like, yeah, Mournfang Cav, that's where the money is with Ogres, to be honest. But the fact that he's got, like, second place with Ogres is absolutely perfect. Well done, Nate. And then Luna... Luna did comment on an earlier video. I can't remember what she said, so apologies. But drugs, prescribed painkillers, not opiates, thankfully. They're just weird. Great. Falconhorn of Fredemund, Anointed Armour. Gauntlet of the Duel again. On a Duke with a Lance. Yeah, I guess. Virtue of Heroism. So Killing Blow, Monster Slayer, reroll hits in duels. I mean, actually, that makes quite a lot of sense putting the two together, doesn't it? Because you're rerolling your hits on something where you really just want to get 1/6 to wound. So actually, that's really smart. That I like that. And the Falconhorn of Fredemund on the highest leadership thing makes a lot of sense, but you do see it a lot on like support characters like wizards, just because you want to be able to do it, because I'm not sure that you can use it if you're in combat. Paladin Gusel, the Blackthorn, BSB, all that stuff. Fire Witch Morgana again. Ogre Blade, okay, 2d6 Ogre Blade hits, nice, like that. Green Knight, oh yeah, she said Green Knight's getting banned from tournaments because it's too good. It's not that good. Like, it's pretty good, but like, it's not game-breakingly good. Like, so tournaments are banning the Green Knight because it's quite good, but they're not banning like Mortis Engines or, do you know what I mean? That seems a bit weird because like, Oh, it's in the bloody Arcane Journal. Oh no, I've done that one as a PDF. Hooray for me. Here he is, Green Knight. He's 275. The thing is, right, if he dies, then he can come back, right? But he comes back with one fewer wound. He's got unstable. He's ethereal. He's got, you know, his weapon's okay. Like, he's either got extra attacks, D6 extra attacks, it's strength 4, weapon skill 7. Like, but, I mean, yeah. Heavy armor shield. So he's got a 3-up save. He's got a 5-up ward inbuilt. But he's got unstable. So if he's attacked by magical weapons, I think unstable means he loses his ward as well. Don't quote me. But I think unstable means not only do you lose wounds, you can't use your ward, any ward against magical attacks either. So, you know, it's pretty easy to... I suppose when he does come back, he's pretty much guaranteed to save. Only if there's enough natural stuff on the table. So, but again, there needs to be natural scenery on the table, just to have less natural scenery. Anyway, 10 peg knights, brilliant. They're the best thing on the table, probably. And yeah, that's all. That's a nice list. So well done to Luna for winning a 2.5k thing. And then finally, Rob Symes had another tournament called Battle for Slayer's Pride. Feature Empire managed to get third. Oh, and Dwarves managed to win. What? I was getting tired. I'm waking up a little bit now. What's he got? Okay, so he's got Empire, General, yeah, whatever. Engineer, Veterans, Missile, Archers, Outriders, Cannon, Hellblaster. I mean, I'm not an Empire player. I'd put some Griff Knights in there instead of the Outriders, but I guess for like a little unit of... But that's pretty much the core I'd go for. Apart from the Veteran State Troops, I'm not sure what they're there for. I guess they could be pretty useful. But this is all very strong. This is very strong. And 2 Hellblasters, 3 Great Cannons. 3 Great Cannons can quite happily take out a dragon a turn. No sweat. So that's pretty strong. And then if somebody gets closer, the Hellblaster just finishes them off. So it's a really, really good list, this. Very strong Empire list. This is what I mean by Empire players not having the good stuff yet, because they're not on release. Ollie Jones managed to come second with Khemri. He's got a Prince on foot with a Talisman of Protection. Not sure what that's for. He's got a Tomb Priest on a Flying Carpet. Okay. He's got a Mortuary Priest, and this is a non-standard Khemri list, and he's done well with it. So well done, Ollie. I mean, there's nothing in here that's amazing. So Ollie's just obviously a really good Tomb King player. So he really knows what he's doing with it, because there's nothing in here that's like spawny or gamey or amazing or whatever. Like, he's got a pretty standard roster of Tomb King bits and managed to come second with it. So well done, Ollie. Excellent result. And Richie, in fact, the top 3 of this tournament, like, Rob runs some really interesting games, really interesting tournaments, and this absolutely shows you why. Rebecca, is Rebecca the one with... Oh, she switched it up, I think. She's not taken the same list she did against me. I could have beaten this list. Great. I think she was the one that beat me. Anyway, Richie, enough about me. Dwarves, Engineer, Angry Amy. Anvil of Doom. I don't get the Anvil of Doom. Like, it just... I suppose you're not moving anyway, so you've got to come to you. And he's got a Thane. Yeah, he's got some Warriors with Drilled and Veteran. I guess Rangers are strong. Ironbreakers are pretty good. Grudge throwers aren't great. And he's got Iron Drake, so he's got 3. That one hasn't got a Trollhammer Torpedo. Richie, if you're listening, please tell me how this went, because I don't know how this list is any good. Like, seriously, I don't get it. Rune of Forging, Stalwart Rune, Rune of Forging. Maybe the answer's in the runes. Runic items. Rune of Forging. Reroll a misfire. Stalwart Rune. +1 to combat res. I don't get how this is any good. Like, genuinely, I don't get it. Really don't get it. Thane, so that's a 5 at ward and +1 to combat res. That's +1 combat res. So presumably that goes in there for like +4 combat res. I guess. And a 5 at ward. And then Ironbreakers have got an inbuilt ward anyway, I think. So yeah, I don't get that. I don't get why that's any good. Although Drake guns are pretty good, so maybe the Drake guns are better than I thought they were. Oh, they're not there, are they? They're in somewhere around here. Oh, are they in the bloody list somewhere? I bet they are, aren't they? Drake guns. Oh, for God's sakes. Drake fire torpedoes. Drake guns. Where's the bloody Drake? Oh, here we are. 18-inch range, strength 5, AP1. Flaming attack, quick shot. I mean, they are pretty good. But, like, I suppose with quick shot, yeah, you can move every turn and use them. I mean, 3 inches, but still. And the Trollhammer Torpedo, that isn't quick shot though, but that's pretty good, isn't it? Like BS5, hitting on 2s, strength 8, AP3, multiple wounds D3. Yeah, I don't get why that's good. But anyway, I've gone on for way too long. But well done, all the people, Richie, Luna, all the people who managed to win tournaments, everything else. I shall oh, I need to update that, don't I? Because it's updated as of today. 12:06. Right, cool. So anyway, I shall say toodaloo, and I hope you all have a great week, and I shall see you on Monday, and hopefully I'm able to walk properly then, and I'm off these ridiculous drugs. Bye!